Well, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes on the Daybreak Show. Time for us to focus on Shelton, presented by our Community Credit Union. City Engineer Ken Gill is with me. How you doing, Ken?
Good. Good morning, Jeff.
Nice to talk with you. Been on the job about a year for this city, and things have been, well, I would say normally things have been kind of progressing as normal, but this year has probably put some big monkey wrenches into the works at the city.
It has. We've had to, adjust to look at budgets, things like that. But really, the city, and particularly Public Works in particular, keeps moving on. You got to keep on providing water and sewer services and smooth streets.
Yeah.
And this year we've been doing that. We just finished up last week our 2020 residential paving, which was East Mountain View.
Okay.
So for those residents of East Mountain View, they were all, cheers, because a lot of those roads hadn't seen a paving machine in 30 or 40 years.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a compliment to last year's effort in West Mountain View. And one thing why the city is really got some great personnel resources in that they have an outstanding public works streets foreman named Todd Rhodes. And he did all the prep work with a big grinder on the front of his loader. He did all the traffic control. And after they pave the road, they come back and touch up the driveways with edge rock. So it's a really big improvement for that area and really well appreciated by the residents. And that's what gets me so excited.
That's awesome. Over the years, probably maybe before your time here, there'd always been a lot of conversations about the streets and the quality of the streets in the city. And then with the passage of the transportation improvement project, the TIP grants or whatever, when it comes in from the city monies for those types of projects, it seems like the city is really starting to look good when it comes to those things. You guys were thinking about it in different zones around the city. Is that how the progress works? To every year pave a different area?
We use a computer program called Street Saver, but also we use input from our public works guys, as they're the ones who are out there patching potholes too.
Yeah.
But the whole focus of that is to use the transportation benefit district money that you're talking about. So that is that money in action.
That's great.
So you pay your license fees and you see asphalt on the ground in front of your house. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So I couldn't be more pleased with our engineering department. We talked about Todd. Brooke Kiltz is another one of our staff that puts together all the contracts, does all the bidding, really basically makes sure that we're all dotting our I's and crossing our T's.
Yeah.
And then Kobe Glasser is did inspection services on that for this year. So taking truck tickets, directing work, writing change orders. So Shelton having that trifecta of those three key staff really makes the project attractive to long-term bidders.
Yeah.
When I mean long-term, long ways away. So, there's not a paving plant in Shelton right here that we can do. So all the asphalt comes from Olympia. And then, of course, the pavers are from out of town. Last year's was from Ellensburg. They came all the way over. And this year was Agate Asphalt up in Belfair. So they're having to travel and by doing the prep work, doing the traffic control, makes that project attractive to bidders. And last year we got about $95 a ton. This year we got $87 a ton. So in my 20 years of doing that work, we've never gotten a low of a price on asphalt. And it's directly relationship because bidders know that they're going to be able to work with those staff.
Wow, that's great to hear. Yeah, there's a lot of great folks working at Public Works. The other thing, too, is the days and nights are getting shorter. It's darker earlier and later. So when you see those Public Works crews out on the roads, give them a break and make sure you're giving them plenty of space and make sure your speeds are low as you go through those work zones, because it's very important. Good to know. What's 2021 paving schedule look like?
So we'll be working that out and finalizing that as we want to get an earlier start. Basically want to get that out on the street for bidders earlier rather than later in the wintertime months so they can get something on the books.
Do you look to try to get a certain amount of miles paved? Is it neighborhoods completed, or what's a good, what at the end of next year when you look back, what would be the goal there?
I try to get the most people served, the greatest benefit.
Okay.
One thing that former director Craig Gregory left with me is he always asked the question, "What's best for Shelton?"
Uh-huh.
And that kind of thought always kind of sticks in my mind. And we've got a relatively small pot of money, around $200,000 a year, and how can we stretch it the farthest? And also, how can we make it so that we don't ever come back in another 30 years?
Yeah.
So I want to give a really good quality product that lasts for a long time and that the residents are happy with.
City Engineer Ken Gill here for the Focus on Shelton, presented by our Community Credit Union. Thanks for coming in.
Okay, thanks for having me.